Hello and welcome to another Jimbo's driveway. As you can see, it's a few weeks on and the weather is a lot brighter than it was. I'm no longer out in sub-zero temperatures washing the car. Today, the order of the day is to delve a little bit further into the discovery I made last time, which was that awful puddle of gunk that was underneath the XJS, and also to see if we can find out a bit more about this misfire that's going on. Now, the first thing I'd note is, good news is, I tried a new car cover, a brand new car cover, and after I washed the car and cleaned it up, I put that cover over, and since then we've had the snow and the bad weather in the UK, and by taking the cover off this morning, the car looks in great shape. It looks as good as it was when I put the cover on, which is good news because I am still trying to sort out a garage to keep the car in, but now that I know I've got a good weatherproof cover, I'm not so concerned. I can leave the cover over it on the drive, and that should be okay. I'm actually going to be taking the car down to SE Jags for them to have a look over this morning, you know, as long as I can just run over a couple of basics, see if it will start, see if it's running okay. I don't live very far from the garage, so even if I just have to kind of nurse it there, as long as it's running well enough, then I'm gonna take it down there, and hopefully Andrew's gonna have a look at it with us, and we're gonna decide what we need to do from there on. But before we do any of that, I'm gonna have to try and give the car a bit of a boost because the battery is flat, and see if we can actually get it to come to life. And before I do that, I'm also just gonna dip the oil, just check all the plugs, look like everything's plugged in correctly, see if I can check the water, just basic things like that. So I'm gonna switch the camera around. We're gonna have a look under the bonnet together, and you're gonna get to see firsthand how inept I am at doing anything kind of mechanical. But I'm gonna have a look, so let's do that. If we can get started, we'll take it for a little drive, and then we can actually get someone who knows what they're talking about to have a closer look. Well, no sooner have we started than I have stopped again. I wanted to open up the bonnet, or the hood for our American viewers, which to do that on the XJS requires to get into the passenger side and lift the bonnet catch. Only I seem to have discovered that now the door lock is jammed, and I can not get into that side of the car, which isn't helpful. So that's another thing that's going to go on the list that wasn't previously on the list of things to do, and is making me wonder about how I evangelized when I first bought this car that, you know, owning a classic car's no biggie, and you know, it'll just be fine. It should be fine. Clearly that's not quite the case, because every time I come to this car something else has gone wrong. Never to be deterred though. Let's see if we can get it open. If not, I'm just gonna have to see if I can get the car started, and then we'll go from there. Hurrah! We got it open. Well, that's a good start. Now let's see if we can get the bonnet open and have a look under there. As I was trying to say before the door got rudely stuck, in order to open the bonnet on the XJS, there is a little handle under there, and we have to put the hand under there, and this one is tucked away. You actually have to push it down. You can hear the bonnet pops, but what you must be careful not to do is to yank the bonnet. If you look under here, there's a warning sign, and it says do not yank the bonnet. You have to feel for the clip, which is under here somewhere. There it is, and then when you push that in towards the front of the car, it then reveals itself. Now let's have a little look over here. Now I want to stress that I really am looking for the most obvious of obvious things. I am no mechanical technician. I know kind of the principles of how the engine works, etc., but I am by no means any sort of expert. But I do want to just make sure everything that needs to be plugged in seems like it is plugged in. I'll just give it a little press like that. Make sure everything seems like it's plugged in. We can make sure there's nothing obvious. I mean, I say that it's always, it's such a minefield under here, and there's so much wiring everywhere that it's no wonder these cars are kind of fraught with problems, especially you know, as they get older. Wiring dries out, breaks inside, and there is literally so much of it in here. It can be somewhat of a nightmare. Well, that's the distributor cap. Everything seems to be plugged on there okay. I can't get to all of the plug sockets, all the plugs, but you know, everything looks like it's in there, and it hasn't been disrupted from before, so I don't think that's going to be the issue here. So what I am going to do is I'm going to dip the oil by taking this out, and we're going to have a look and see what that looks like too. So now I'm just going to check the oil. I want to make sure it's got oil in here. I'm sure it has. I just want to see if there's anything within that oil that might suggest there could be a problem with the car. And I don't know if you can see that, but actually that oil looks exactly as it should be, which is actually, I hope, brilliant news. We'll just dip it once more. And that's all good. The oil is clean, it's the right colour, and it's right to the right level as well. I didn't dip it completely there, but there is enough in there, I know. That's a good sign. So hopefully there's no gungy oil, and that gungy puddle is just because we think maybe that there's some oil leaking off the rocker cover gaskets and it's mixing with the water on the drive. There could potentially be some oil leaking from the oil cooler, so we're going to check the oil cooler as well, but I'm hoping that is a good sign. The water on here is absolutely is a bit of a pain to dip, because the cap that I need to get to is quite tight. So I've checked the oil and I'm happy with that, so I'm going to leave that. The next thing we're going to do is just see if we can actually get the car started, and for that I need to put the battery booster pack on, and then yeah, see where we go from there. So here we are in the boot, or the trunk for our American viewers, and as you can see, I'm just trying to get some charge into the battery, and the eagle-eyed of you will notice that the battery should live in there, and in fact is strapped in a very haphazard way down here, which is just another job to go on the list. We're trying to get some juice into the battery. In case you're wondering, this battery was what the car came with and was only replaced not too soon before I bought the car. I believe through checking it out that it's actually the battery is for the XJS convertible model, which is a bigger battery, which is why it doesn't fit in that tray. But what I also noticed is that there's a bracket that you need to fix the battery in, and that's missing. So I've spoken to SE Jags, and they're going to see if they can source me the correct bracket and the correct battery at some point. But you know, for the amount of cars being used, and it is, despite anything, it's past the MOT, it is strapped in properly, it doesn't move, so that's just how it is. But I'm just hoping that by getting a bit of juice in the battery now, we're going to go and get it started. So it's been on there for a minute or two now. Let's go and see if we've got any joy at all. Doesn't get more exciting than this, guys. There we are. Where's the keys there? Okay. So first things first. Let's do that. Let's see if we can get this. Have we got any? Well, that's a good sign. Something there. Is there enough juice in it? Let's see. Yes. have life. Have life. We do have life, but I can already hear that it's not quite as happy as it should be. Let's go and get that battery pack off there and give it a minute to warm up. Okay guys, I hope you can hear me over the engine. Under the engine bay, it doesn't sound too bad, but from the exhaust note you can definitely hear that something is not quite right. So I'll just give it a little tease. It sounds better than it did a few weeks ago, but something's not quite right. So I'm going to now see if I can get it down to SC Jags and have them take a closer look at it. I don't know if I'm going to need to leave the car there or not. Hopefully not, but let's get down there and see what they've got to say. Go on in. You can say
Hello, welcome to another Jimbo's driveway for my dad, and I'm going to be his assistant. Now my dad's going to speak something by speech. Go Dad.
Thanks for that, assistant. We made it down to SC Jags. Andrew and the guys are now having a look over. They've definitely identified that there's a miss on one of the banks, and they're going to have a bit more of a look into it for me now, and we're going to find out if we need to leave the car here or whether it's something that they can put a finger on, we can come back and get done at a later date. So fingers crossed, and I'll give you an update once they've finished their diagnosis. Got anything more to add, Con?
My dad had a Jag, but it sounds funny, so SE Jags were fixing it for him, but he's going to have another speech. Yeah.
Thank you.
It's either got stuck open or it's over, like it's not shutting properly.
Right.
Which has fouled the plug up. Because I took out the plug and it was soaking wet.
Oh.
I've now gapped it and cleaned it and put it back, and it's now on all 12 again. But we may have a lead breaking down under load.
Right.
But
just one lead. I remember trying to get a set of leads for my last XJS.
you can still buy them new from Jaguar.
Oh, can you?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
I've
okay.
just put a set of leads, funny enough, on that 12. What other one?
The red convertible.
The red convertible, wasn't it? Yeah. So I've just put, you can still buy them new from Jag.
Okay.
Because there's two different types of leads.
Right.
There's a Lucas and a Moretti.
So I just need to drive it and see how it gets on.
See how it goes. I've just put some fuel cleaner in it, which may help it, because these do suffer with the injectors sticking.
Right.
Trouble is, you can't tell. I know you don't put it on bad fuel.
No, I only put good fuel in it.
What you tend to find is a lot of the supermarket stuff has a lot of water in it, which can foul up the injectors.
Yeah, you will never find this on the supermarket for.
No. But the trouble is, even if you go into BP, Shell or whatever, and their tanks are running low, the water sits on the top of the fuel.
Right.
And you suck up a bit of bit of crap.
Well, it needs a bit of juice anyway, so I'm going to put some VMAX in it on the way home.
Give it some
And then we'll give it a bit more
jungle juice.
Give it a run. So
she's on all 12. Just check her, Henry, please. She should be on all 12.
Okay, all messed up.
Yeah.
So we've also found
There you go.
the oil leak, and we can see when we've got here, the car's been here for a few minutes. We've now got a nice little puddle
Can I
underneath.
do my
Looks like it's coming from the rad, mate.
now?
Yeah,
To
1
be
minute.
honest, but I can't see any. So that's just dripping. It's dripping. I wonder if where you got.
I'm over here.
I wonder if where that's because that's been ripped out. And I'm wondering if this stones at it. Something.
So you think it might be coming out of the oil cooler?
You can see it in the veins of the rad.
Right.
It's right in the veins. Look. See it coming out.
Yeah, I can actually, yeah.
I'm wondering
Don't know
if
if I can get that one.
a stone's hit it or something. Whoa.
There we go. Do you know what, I did that the other week? I might have to come out for the time in.
Henry, can you get me a Phillips screwdriver, please?
There we go, never a dull moment, is there?
Can it be my turn now?
Go on in, what do you want to say?
Hello. Can you see that my dad's car broke down? My dad had a speech. And I'm going to help, so let's get on to the video.
Done?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to screw out. Oh, it's broken. The head's broken off that screw, that's why. I think it's leaking here, look. See it? Uh-huh.
I'm trying to get you.
It's quite bad, look.
Put one, the first. Yes. Look.
Yeah.
Coming away.
Yeah. I think it's the oil cooler red. Where's it gone?
I'm out.
Are you there? I think it's the oil cooler red, mate. Looks like it anyway.
Okay. Well, that's
Start 1 second the car.
better than a head gasket.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. Don't want that.
So Andrew and the team have had a look around the car and found out that possibly one of the leads is breaking down, possibly one of the injectors on the same at the same point may be sticking and having an issue. One of the plugs was a bit fouled up. He's managed to clean it up, and now the car is running much better. So with that in mind, I'm going to run the car for a while. He did also say about the fuel. I only use decent fuel, but I'm going to go and top it up with some VMAX. Run it for a while, and then we'll see if the issue returns or see whether it's resolved itself. Along with that, the oil appears to have been the oil cooler that was leaking, so that may need replacing, which is something we're going to have to look into. But on the plus side, it's much better than a fouled head gasket. So I'm pretty pleased with what we found out today. The weather's even getting better, and hopefully we can go out for a proper drive in the not too distant future, and we can get a few more bits done in the Jag. That's about it for today. I really hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video, and if there are any car communities that you think you could share this video in, the support is always really welcomed. I just run this channel just out of interest because I want people that are interested in cars and these sorts of things to see what sort of goes into running a car like this. And so if you think anyone is interested, please do share. That's it for today. There will be another video along very soon, I hope, and we'll see what the next part of the story is with the Jag XJS. See you later. Bye for now. Whenever I come here, there's always something new and interesting to look at, and Andrew just peeled back the cover on this. which is a little project. What you got going on here, Andrew?
We've bought a Mark II Jag, basically.
Yeah.
The shell on that one is finished, and this is our replacement shell that we're going to start with. Our good base that we're going to start it off with to rebuild it.
And is this going to be built back all to sort of like original specification?
Yeah, totally original, 100% original Jaguar it's going to be.
Wow.
I'm not going to put any sort of modifications, as it were.
Yeah.
Nothing like that on it. So
not going to resto mod it.
No.
Not going to put in a crate V8.
We intend to have it. We intend to build it exactly how it rolled off the production line.
Yeah.
What year is that one again?
66. No, she's 67.
67. Early 67. So we're going to build it to exactly how it rolled off the production line.
Well, we'll keep an eye on this one. It looks like I'm going to be visiting you again.
The next stage for this is we've got to strip a few more bits out, and it's going to get dipped.
Wow.
We're going to go and send it away and get it dipped. It's had a few repairs on it over the years, of course.
Yeah.
Which have been done alright. They're not bad, but bit of a perfectionist. So I'm going to I like, if I replace metal, I like it cut out, it stitched in neatly, so you don't even know it's there.
Yeah.
Which there's a couple of bits on it that have been done, but they haven't been done to that sort of standard.
To that sort of standard.
Yeah, which I've got to do. A couple of bits I've got to address, but yeah, on a whole, a clean shell to start with.
Okay. Well, guys, if you're interested in seeing more of this, mention it down in the comments, and if Andrew wants me to, we'll get some more footage of this, and I'll get him to do some video and some photos as this job comes, as this project comes along, and we can put a bit more of it on the channel. Yeah, put it in the comments if you want to see a bit more of this car, and we'll add some of this in as well. So what is going on here? What have we got here?
A total ground up restoration on a V12 E-type manual convertible, matching number car. When it got purchased, it had never been restored, so it was totally factory original.
Wow.
But we're now rebuilding it. This is our Meccano set at the moment.
Yeah, I can see.
As you can see.
This is what an E-type looks like in its raw components.
We've got
very large airfitters kit.
Yeah.
We've been going through it. So, for example, we've just bought new wiring loomers. We've been matching them up to make sure they're all good, which I knew they would be, but you've got to double check.
Mm-hmm.
We've just bought the bits for the heater box and the valve. It's a brand new box, because the old one, it's okay, but you know, you can see the difference.
Yeah.
We've started to go through the pipe work, fuel pipes, etc., to make sure it's all as it should be. Hopefully they're getting fitted today on the shell. We started basically just going through the inventory of it, making sure everything's... The biggest thing that we've got at the moment is nuts, bolts and washers, because we want it as original as can be.
Yeah.
So, as you can see, we've got all the nuts and bolts laid out, so we can make sure that we purchase the right...
The exact ones.
Yeah, see that we bought the kit here, for example, you know? We can... And that's silly, but it's got to be...
It's attention to detail, and you know, more and more, these things are so important with these older cars, aren't
without
they?
Without that, yeah.
Yeah. Because people want the originality, and that's really
Yes.
where the value is in them.
Precisely.
And in another 10 years, the internal combustion engine might be something of a, you know, a rarity.
A museum piece.
Yeah.
And then this is all bits that we've had power coated suspension components and that. And this is all up there is, you know, in wings. That's all for the bonnet and, you know, fan cowlings and stuff, which is yet to be assembled.
Yeah.
Because the bonnet is there, which still needs to, you can see it's just a naked carcass. It needs to be assembled. All the bits for the bonnet are down there on the floor and up there on the shelf. That's the next sort of task.
That's the next project.
Yeah, we've got to assemble it, get it assembled and dry fit it to the car. to
Right.
make sure the gaps are right. We've got to dry fit the doors, the boot lid, and so on. Make sure it's all 100%
Yep.
sort of bang on, and then we take it apart again, and then
Right.
start assembling it again, because the bonnet's got to be painted and the tub's still got to be painted.
Yeah.
Bottom part of it's done, but the top and inside isn't painted yet.
Right.
So
So
I'll show
there
you.
we have. We've got another a full XJS V12 rebuild here, and if that's something you want to
E-type.
see more of, sorry, an E-type build going on here, whole car in bits. So if you want to follow this, then again, let me know in the comments, and I'll come back and we'll document a bit more of this. This is the tub of the E-type that's going to be going back together.
We've just fitted these the other day, put the servo in. We're basically going through it, tapping all the threads, making sure everything's nice, making sure everything lines up. Bolting stuff on, unbolting it, one of them ones, make sure it's nice. The people who painted this car are actually the owners, Total Body Shop Repairs Limited. Very, very good people, very good at their job. So we're doing it in conjunction with them, sort of thing. We're doing
Yep.
the rebuild, as it were.
Yeah.
They're responsible for all the bodywork. So it's now opalescent blue. The car originally was, what brown was it? I can't remember. Carriage brown, something like that. It was basically nacky brown.
Yeah, sewage brown.
It was horrible. Yeah, but as you can see, you know, they've had to replace jacking points. They've done a hell of a lot of work on it. There was dents, the rear arches were bad, which they cut out and repaired. They repaired the boot floor. They've done a phenomenal job of it. Really, very, very well done. So it's now assembly time.
Right.
Hence the Meccano set.
Right. Well,
So-
we'll see how this one comes back together then.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of work, but we've got the back axle in there, in the other workshop, actually.
Go on in.
Good. Now my dad's Jag has been fixed. We would like for you to subscribe to the channel and also click that bell button, and there'll be another video uploading. And also, see you next time until it's another thing that's going to be fixed like a car. See you next time.